Many Yankee fans have made their way south for the second game of this doubleheader, and it is time for baseball. Hello, how you doing? As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the night portion of a day-night doubleheader from Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. What a heartbreaker in the first game. 10 innings, no score whatsoever, 0-0, and then it all happened in the 11th.
The 11th inning, things started to turn around for each team. No score, great pitching up to this point. Brad Brock delivers it. Chris Young, he delivers as well. He's making a habit out of this. Late inning home runs in the Yankee uniform. The Yankees had a 1-0 lead with the Orioles. Jimmy Paredes, 2 walks and a hit batter, loaded the bases, and he comes through on the first pitch he sees. The Orioles win it in the bottom of the 11th by a score of 2-1. Paredes is the hero. And we told you it was a heartbreaker for the Yankees, and you could see Joe Girardi spoke after the game how he felt.
I mean, it's frustrating. You know, we pitched really well and got to a situation where we got a 1-0 lead, and then it gets away from us. It's frustrating. You know, you got some momentum from the way you won the last 2 games, and we weren't able to hold on today. But we got another game to play, and we got to go win it.
That other game is tonight. Tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Brian Mitchell will get the start for the Yankees. Those are his numbers between AA and AAA. And Bud Norris will go for the O's. He's 12-8 with a 3.92 ERA. Derek Jeter is not in the first game's lineup, but he is in this lineup tonight. A lot of people here to see him. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees O's next on Yes. Hoboken Hero filled with savory Italian flavors. Blimpie, America. Play. He's going to bat 9th.
Veteran 29-year-old Bud Norris on the mound for the Orioles. 2-0 in his career against the Yankees. Both of those wins coming this year. And you see his overall record, 12-8, 3.92. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tribe Honda dealers. A career high 12 wins for Bud Norris this year. Of course, he started his career with the Houston Astros and Angry Birds. Bud Norris of the Orioles and R.A. Dickey of the Blue Jays lead the American League in hitting batters, both with 14. and 5 and fly. I mentioned he's beaten the Yankees twice this year, and both times he pitched a minimum number of innings for victory, 5 innings, and then he was out of the ball game, and he got the win in each one of those games.
Well, let's check out the Yankee defense, which is Orioles defense presented by Geico. I'm sorry, Yankee defense will come later. It's going to be Diaza, Lowe, and Cruz left to right in the outfield. Paredes, the hero of Game 1, he's at third. Flaherty at short. Scope is at second, and Steve Pearce plays first. Caleb Joseph is behind the plate, and Bud Norris is on the mound. Now, the Orioles don't have their A lineup in. They've got a big lead in the American League East, and they're resting some of their players. Yankees have Derek Jeter in the lineup with the sore elbow. They've got Brett Gardner with the abdominal strain. They're in a situation they have to win almost all of their games. It's not looking great. Norris is ready. Ellsbury is ready, and let's do it here in Baltimore. And the first pitch is a strike. We're underway. Clint Fagan is the home plate umpire. The crew chief, Tim Welke, will be umpiring at first. Ed Hickox at second, and Toby Basner is over at third.
This is the third time this year or this season that Jacoby Ellsbury has been employed as the designated hitter. Very valuable on defense, but this is kind of a half a day off.
And the 0-2. Hit deep to center field. Lowe goes back and makes the play. Derek Jeter comes up. Let's hear the response.
Shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter.
Most of the fans standing. A lot of Oriole fans trying to boo, but kind of drowned out by the cheers. Sunday will be Jeter's final time here in Baltimore.
I haven't heard too much about the celebration, or if there is going to be one.
I have not either.
Yeah.
Jeter had a tough homestand. 5 hits and 32 at bats. 156. Pitch outside. And his average is dipped down to 255.
Yeah, maybe coming here to Baltimore, get him going. He's got more hits against the Orioles than any other team.
One. And the pitch. Fly ball down the right field line, but goes foul. Well, let's see how Derek Jeter does in his hits against opponents. The most hits ever against the Orioles, 349. Red Sox, 341. Then the Blue Jays, Rays, and the Angels. So, of course, the top 4 of the 4 teams in the AL East. And then the Angels are 5th. The 1-2. Jeter swings and misses, and he goes down on strikes.
It looked like Derek went out of the strike zone for a high fastball. Up in his eyes. The target's low and away. The pitch is nowhere near there. And he just swings through it.
Here's Brett Gardner. Yankees get a boost with him in the lineup. He's playing center tonight with Ellsbury the DH and batting third. Been dealing with an abdominal strain. Doesn't exactly know when he got it. Game 2 just underway. Yankees lost the first game 2-1 in 11 innings.
We mentioned several of the Oriole pitchers kind of auditioning for the postseason. I would think Bud Norris would be part of the postseason rotation. We mentioned the fact that the career high 12 wins. He's very good in this ballpark.
Popped up left side, long run for everybody, but it makes the first row of seats.
Yeah, Norris is 6-2 at Camden Yards. And 6-6 on the road. And this can be a tough place to pitch in. You mentioned the close proximity of the fences here. Doesn't take much to hit a ball out of here. The Orioles do lead the major leagues in home runs, and it looks for the third consecutive year they're going to hit more than 200. And that's something that Baltimore has never done. 3 years in a row with 200 or more homers. Well, it's amazing. We just saw the shot of the warehouse and how it frames the ballpark. Just beautiful out there in right field as the sun sets.
As great as the ballpark proper is, you're right, Kenny. That warehouse is the cherry on the sundae. It's just beautiful.
That's where the Oriole offices are.
2-2. 3-2 on Gardner.
And just think they were about to demolish that and tear it down, but then the ballpark was put in and they said, well, we've refurbished that. And I wouldn't say those are front row seats, but you got a good view from over there.
That was a base hit for Gardner.
I think we mentioned it the last time we were here. The warehouse, the longest building on the east of Mississippi. And there's the base hit by diving Steve Pearce. So Brett Gardner on with 2 outs.
Well, Brian McCann, the cleanup hitter and the first baseman. Mark Teixeira in game 1 was 0 for 5. And he is 6 for his last 36. Really struggling. Of course, they shift for McCann. Norris from the stretch.
They leave Flaherty to shortstop at short, and they move Paredes, the third baseman, over to the right side.
Almost hit Gardner, but he hits into short right field, and that will do it here in the first. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Yankees nothing. Orioles coming to bat. Starting lineup presented by Geico. Left fielder Alejandro De Aza will lead off. Batting second and playing first, Steve Pearce. Jimmy Paredes, the third baseman, will hit third. Cleaning up right fielder Nelson Cruz. Delman Young, the DH, will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing center field, David Lowe. Caleb Joseph, he's going to catch. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is the shortstop Ryan Flaherty, and Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, will bat ninth. That's the Orioles starting lineup presented by Chevrolet.
And making his first ever Major League start will be Brian Mitchell, 23-year-old right-hander, originally from Reidsville, North Carolina, now makes his home in Tampa, Florida. He was pitching at Trenton and Scranton Wilkes-Barre this year. And that's what his season looked like in the minor leagues. Actually pitched better at AAA than he did at Double-A. Let's check out our pitcher scout report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He was a 16th round draft pick in 2009, 1 round after Shane Green. And he was a deadline decision. We mentioned he's originally from Reidsville, North Carolina. He was all set to go to the University of North Carolina. The Yankees made him a big enough offer, and he decided to sign with the New York Yankees. And if his sinker is as good as Shane Green's, even though he's 1 round after Green, the Yankees might have themselves a pitcher in the future.
Let's check out the defense behind Mitchell, and it's presented by Geico. Young, Gardner, and Ichiro left to right in the outfield. Infield, it's Wheeler, Jeter, Drew, and McCann third to first. Austin Romine behind the plate. And Kenny talked about Brian Mitchell on the mound. With Mitchell starting this game, 56th time the Yankees have started a rookie pitcher this season, and that's the highest total in the majors. The other starts, Tanaka, Vidal Nuno, Whitley, and Green. And there's the strike from Mitchell to Diaza. Yankees are 34-21 in games started by rookie pitchers this year, including 22-7 on the road.
Like Green, we saw Mitchell briefly in spring training. And to me, I remember when Green pitched that afternoon and at Steinbrenner Field. I came away thinking this young man has a good chance in the future, and certainly proved out to be for Shane Green. And the Yankees are certainly hoping that the same thing pans out for Brian Mitchell. The more, as we've seen, the more pitchers you have, the better off you will be. You never have enough pitching is very, very true in this day and age. There is Shane Green, is scheduled to pitch here tomorrow afternoon.
1-2. Lined in the center field. And Gardner slides and makes the play for the first out.
Nice play by Gardner, and he's just checking out the unit. Seems to be okay. Remember, he's dealing with that abdominal strain as Diaza hits the ball on the nose, but he's out number 1.
Here's Steve Pearce. In the first game, Pearce was 0 for 3 with a walk. If you missed the news earlier, Chris Davis was suspended for 25 games, tested positive for Adderall. And that puts more of a premium on what Steve Pearce does. And he gets hit by a pitch here in the first inning. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Beautiful day. All day here in Baltimore. 72 degrees, 46% humidity, wind 5 miles per hour. It is certainly a comfortable night. People are going to have to step up because they are not going to have Davis for the rest of the regular season. He served the first game of the suspension and the first game of the doubleheader. 16 more before the regular season's over, and then he has to serve 8 more in the postseason.
Well, Jimmy Paredes came off the bench, pitch hitting with the bases loaded off Adam Warren. This is the first pitch. Didn't waste any time. Becomes an instant hero as Baltimore rallies from a 1-0 deficit to win 2-1. Now the feeling about Paredes, he's a switch hitter, that he's a good hitter, but he hasn't shown much defensively in the infield, particularly at third base. Now anybody they chose to replace Manny Machado was going to come up a distant second defensively. Manny, the Platinum Glove winner, and we saw his injury against the Yankees here last time we were here, and he eventually had surgery on that right knee and is out for the remainder of the season. Yeah, fielders like Manny Machado or Brooks Robinson do not fall out of trees.
Orioles got Paredes from Kansas City for cash on July 24th. Played 127 career games in the majors with Houston and Kansas City before the acquisition.
Keep an eye on Steve Pearce at first. His good running count, 3-1.
High fly ball, left field. Young makes the play.
I think when you're a young pitcher, you're making your first major league start. Now, Mitchell has appeared in relief, but this is the first time that you get to do what you really have done in the minor leagues, and that's work as a starter. There's got to be some butterflies, but it's all about throwing strikes and making quality pitches. Now, I know this isn't the A Oriole lineup, but this is one of their A guys at the plate right now.
Nelson Cruz fouls it away.
Michael, we talked about it in the first game, but it bears repeating. Nelson Cruz might be the best free agent signing over the winter, and it wasn't really in the winter, it was kind of in the spring. Can you think of anybody better?
In terms of value, probably not.
No, probably not.
Obviously, he wanted a long-term deal. It wasn't there. He had the final games of the season last year taken away because failed the PED test. Well, he was actually part of the biogenesis situation. Didn't fail a test. And
so 50 games.
50 games, and maybe that scared people away in terms of a long-term contract, but he has certainly reestablished his value with this season. Line drive, base hit. So Cruz with a 2-out single. Pierce moves to second. Yankees baseball is available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your remote. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. Here's Delman Young. Pitch outside from Mitchell.
Yeah, it's interesting as you watch. We talked about pitchers vying for a spot in the rotation in the playoffs. The same thing could be said for players coming off the bench, and that involves Delman Young. I think he's going to be on the roster. I mean, he's had a good year for Baltimore, coming off the bench and occasionally starting. Teams have to make up their playoff rosters, and they can't change if you advance. And a lot of it depends on matchups.
Chop foul. First and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning here at Camden Yards.
Looks like school is in session for Buck Showalter, and I believe that's Quentin Berry, who, it doesn't surprise me, sitting next to his boyhood friend Adam Jones. As I mentioned, they both grew up in San Diego, played high school ball together. Berry's had some experience in the major leagues, but one thing he brings to a club is ability to play defense and run. You saw him steal a base in the first game. He could be coming off the bench.
3-1. There's a strike. 3-2. That'll release the runners. 3-2, 2 outs. Mitchell, obviously not a fast worker, takes his time between pitches. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Strikes out Delman Young for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 1. Nothing here on Yes. And he's done some job lately.
Well, 3 home runs in 3 games. This first 2 at Yankee Stadium. Well, that was last night's game winner. Let the celebration begin. And then this afternoon, they thought he had another game winner. In the 11th, put the Yankees in front 1-0. The Orioles would spoil it by scoring 2 in the bottom half of the inning.
Now Young will lead off here against Bud Norris. 0-0 here in the second. Each team with a hit. And a strike in the outside corner. One.
Watching Chris Young, he's got somewhat of a straightaway stance, just barely a little flex at the knee. But as we mentioned, he's got a very quick stroke. Likes the ball out over the plate. Look out, it's up and in.
Well, Chase Headley, that's a good sign. He's back with the Yankees. He was seeing a neurologist today. They had x-rays yesterday, showed no broken bones, and the only thing that he has to show from being hit in the chin, laceration on the chin, some stitches. Fly ball to right field. Cruz is there. And for what could happen when you get hit in the face, just to see Chase Headley standing there and in uniform, that's a great sign. That'll bring up Stephen Drew.
Yeah, we had talked about it earlier that when you're a switch hitter, you have that much more time to get out of the way. But Jake McGee throws pretty hard. One of the hardest throwers in the league. I mean, when you're a right-handed hitter, you have to decide whether that ball is going to break or not. And you got to try and hang in there. And lefty on lefty, the same thing.
Popped up. Left side. Joseph gives it a look. In the seats.
Stephen Drew had a double in the 11th inning following the home run by Chris Young, and he's had a long drought here. See if it gets him going.
High fly ball, deep right center, drifting back. Cruz in front of the trap, puts it away. 2 outs.
For some reason in the first game and now with that ball hit, it just doesn't seem like the ball's carrying today. You don't see much from the flags out in left center field beyond the bullpens. But I think it's starting to cool down here. In the summer, when it's really hot here in Baltimore, the ball flies out of here. But now things are starting to cool down and maybe you don't quite get the carry.
Here's Ichiro. Came in for defense in the second game. Never came up to the plate. And he loves hitting here in Baltimore. .358 lifetime average. Very quietly, Ichiro has been one of the more reliable players for the Yankees. You don't get a lot of run production out of him, but he's hitting better than most of the players on the Yankees as that breaks his bat.
Well, we know how Ichiro treats his bats now. Most hitters, bat like that, you just throw it aside, get another one. He hands it to the bat boy. And you also notice after he makes an out, he'll pick the bat up, he won't put it in the rack with the others. Like the other bats are going to teach it bad habits.
.286 average for Ichiro this year. 90 hits. And of all the players that have been here all year, he has the best batting average of any of them. He's a 40-year-old. Seeing much more playing time than he thought he was going to. As he swings and misses in a 1-2-3 inning for Bud Norris. As the Yankees go down in order, we go to the bottom of the second inning. Yankees nothing, O's nothing, right here on Yes. Brought to you by Toyota. Prius is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Question: how do you think the Orioles will be affected by the suspension of Chris Davis? There's one of our responses. They are a good enough team to have succeeded without players like Wieters and Machado. They will be fine. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius. Keep the conversation going. And that's true. They have survived the loss of their catcher and third baseman. But you keep putting fingers into the leaky holes, and more leaks are going to spring. Sooner or later, there might be a flood. So Buck Showalter hopes that this isn't something that really hurts the team.
Well, you got to figure, where's the tipping point? Is it 3 players? Is it 4 players?
There's David Lowe against Brian Mitchell. Mitchell works and deals. Popped up. Left side. Jeter drifts back. Coming in Young. Young with the call on the catch.
Catcher number 30.
Quickly, 1 pitch and 1 out for Mitchell. It's like to get your team back at the plate. Trying to get you some runs as quickly as possible.
Kenny, I was about to say worked from the stretch, and it's weird. A lot of pitchers have gone to this. It's almost like a wind-up stretch. I know that plays against each other, but he's standing there as if he's in a stretch. He's not moving his arms up, but it's definitely a wind-up for him.
Yeah, let's see. David Price.
That's right.
Comes to mind.
Yep.
Tim Hudson. Used to be with the Braves, now with the Giants. There's another big-time pitcher who does this.
Grounded foul.
And I'm wondering, I had this thought earlier this year. By throwing like that, it puts a lot of stress on your arm, and it's not that motion to get your body behind it. Remember those freewheeling windups they used to have back in the day? But now they want everything to be compact and able to repeat your delivery. Those pitchers threw enough strikes back then.
You would see them rock hands over the head and really generate a lot in the windup.
Now, the last pitcher I can remember doing that is Paul Byrd with Cleveland.
Popped up. McCann runs out of room and tumbles down near the tarp. Is he okay? He got a smile on his face.
Was there a ball boy or
yes.
Here we go. Here's a look at it. Trying to get out of the look out. That could have been dangerous. One more angle. Trying to reach back. That ball ended up about 5 or 6 rows back, but the effort is there. Everybody's scrambling. Hey, how are you? How's your evening?
Grounded foul outside of third. I mean, how about the windup of your former teammate, Jim Palmer, the big high leg kick?
Oh, yeah. Very stylish.
Yes.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Straight over.
Marichal.
Straight over the top. Delivery.
Grounded to third. Wheeler gets Joseph.
We can get Jim in here. He can give us about 15 minutes on how he did it. Great pitcher. All-time winningest pitchers in Oregon.
And tried to come back after making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Kind of ended that. He got hurt in spring training. Were you surprised when he tried that?
Yes, I was. Very much so. I wasn't very happy with it either because, he's already. I thought he felt he could do it again. And to be honest with you, my former teammate Al Bunbury was a coach with the Red Sox, and they were playing the Red Sox in spring training, and they were hitting Palmer all over the lot. And a lot of these youngsters on the Red Sox team were saying, "That's Jim Palmer?" And Bunbury looked at him and said, "If you faced him 10 or 15 years ago, you wouldn't be laughing like that. You'd be sitting down here next to me figuring out what you're going to do next." So I was disappointed that he tried to come back.
What really struck me about the broadcast shot, when you see Jim Palmer's career resume, Hall of Fame indeed. But when Buck Showalter was the manager of the Yankees, I don't remember him looking over my shoulder the way he looks over Jim's shoulder. I mean, my goodness, Buck. What is going on there?
Are you trying to say he's everywhere?
He's hovering right there.
Oh, my goodness. The first game ever played behind Palmer was opening day in Detroit, and he pitched a 10-0 3-hit shutout. Detroit maybe hit one ball hard, and that was his first of 25 complete games in.
Different times, Ken.
Yeah, you got that right.
3-2.
324 innings. You know, it's pitchers like he and Catfish Hunter. That was the norm.
And that number 22 retired here with the Orioles. And Ryan Flaherty walks. Here's Jonathan Scope.
Now, one thing we've seen from Scope is the power. He's got 15 home runs. That's a good number for a second baseman, but that batting average is going to have to improve, the on-base percentage as well. And one thing I think pitchers are learning, you don't really have to throw him strikes. He's going to swing at everything. And until he, controls his strike zone a little bit better, his batting average is going to stay down.
Well, Buck Showalter sent him a message in the 11th inning. He pinch hit for him.
Yeah, he did.
And that's who Jimmy Paredes was hitting for when he got that hit against Adam Warren to win the game.
And I think when Scope gets the 2 strikes, he's so afraid of striking out. Anything he can reach, he's going to try and hit. Okay, now here's where you expand the strike zone.
Lined into left field. Chris Young comes on, dives and makes the play. Took a hit away from Jonathan Scope. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. Chris Young doing it offensively, defensively, and putting on a little bit of a resume drive here in September with the Yankees. Fan photo using hashtag #YesFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during the game. Brought to you by AT&T. Nice catch by Chris Young. But you wonder, did he really catch it clean? Buck Showalter did not challenge at all. Here's Zealous Wheeler as we start the third. And there's a strike. What do you think, Kenny?
Oh, this is close. At first I thought he had it by his reaction, but I looked at it again.
I still can't tell.
I still can't tell. It didn't look as though he had the glove underneath. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Audi A3 scoreboard, 0-0. These two teams have played 12 innings today without scoring a run. In the 11th, that's when they scored their run. So of the 13 innings they've played, 12 have been zeros.
By the way, it was kind of a milestone win for Baltimore in the first game. That was, including the playoffs, that was the 5,000th win for the Orioles since they've been in Baltimore. And that's 60 years.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Wheeler, leading off here in the third. And the pitch. I got Joseph.
Ooh. Yeah, when Matt Wieters went down with Tommy John surgery, the Orioles dipped into their farm system, came up with Caleb Joseph, and he's done a very, very good job. Defensively, that's what they were looking for, defense, but he's brought a little bit of a bat to the table. And there is Nick Hundley, who also came over and traded.
Wheeler swings and misses.
You know, everybody thought that it was going to be very hard to replace Wieters, and yeah, it's an all-star catcher, Gold Glove winner. But they've come up big with these two.
Well, maybe gives them a window into their future because within the organization, they didn't think they were going to be able to sign Wieters when he became a free agent. Was not able to, or willing to sign a deal long term before the contract finished.
Yeah.
He's got a year left. And now, you know, maybe it's a message to everybody they could survive without him if they do indeed lose him.
Here's another question for you. Most of the fans thought the choice would come between Chris Davis and Matt Wieters. You know, Davis has not had the year he had a year ago when he hit 53 home runs.
Austin Romine lines one to Scope. Well, Kenny, it might just come down to signability.
That's true.
And, you know, just talking to people around the Orioles, it seems like Davis really does want to stay here.
See, but after the year he's had, Michael, you know, he's not signing for free. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Is he going to be worth it?
Well, at least you have another look-see next year on both of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Before they become free agents. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 outs, nobody on.
Davis is effectively giving the Orioles about half the production he gave them last year with just as many strikeouts.
1-2. Still 1-2.
Ellsbury with a pretty good stretch run going here. He's over 300 his last 22 or so games. Driving in some runs, scoring runs. Just being Jacoby Ellsbury.
There's a base hit. A single with 2 outs.
When you're Jacoby Ellsbury, that means you're more than a hitter. You're a good defender. One of the best base stealers in the game. The ability to steal, and of course, percentage-wise, he's one of the best.
Jeter struck out in the first inning. Right back to Norris. And that'll do it here in the third. No runs are hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It's 0-0. When the Yankees take on the O's for the start of the final week of the regular season. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a pair of Yankees texting gloves courtesy of Starter. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops are called Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. He's texting without the gloves. Come to the stadium that day, get the texting gloves.
Now, what do texting gloves actually do?
It's like a glove, but it lets the heat from your finger come through the glove so you can actually text.
Even on winter nights?
Yes. Now, right now, it's not cold enough to really need gloves.
Well, I'm not saying you could be texting outside.
Yes. Audi A3 scoreboard 0-0. Grounded to first. McCann steps on the bag. Now, Moragovitz is sitting here laughing. What are you laughing about, Meredith?
She's laughing at me. Something I said.
No, I don't know that I agree 100% with your explanation, but it's a special fingertip. It makes like the fingertip so you can not take your gloves off and keep texting in cold weather.
Yeah, but the heat of your finger is what makes the text happen, like on iPhones and... and Android devices. Yeah, you can give me whichever look you want.
Let's do a little research.
Okay.
You know, I knew it had something to do with cold. I knew it did. Why would you have gloves on to begin with?
I know this. It has nothing to do with blisters. It's so you can text in the
Right.
cold.
Jeez.
If anybody needs these gloves, it's Morocco, because all she does is text.
I thought it was to keep your fingers from getting worn.
Oh, yeah, I get a lot of blisters texting, Ken. The 0-1. 0-2. Pierce was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Mitchell starting to settle in.
I got to get me a pair. Yeah. They look stylish.
Line to left field. Chris Young plays it on a hop. A single for Pierce.
And he's been on both times now.
Now I have a roster question to ask you, Kenny.
Gotcha.
We talked about the suspension of Chris Davis. Okay, so 17 games in the regular season. 8 games would add up to 25.
Gotcha.
Okay. If you're the Orioles, let's say their first round series in the American League Division Series goes 5 games, the full 5.
Gotcha.
He needs to have 3 more games. You cannot change a roster in the middle
of a series
unless there's an injury. If you're the Orioles, do you go into the American League Championship Series playing with 24 men for the first 3 games so that you would have Chris Davis in games 4, 5, 6, and 7?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And the reason being because that could be a 7-game series.
Yep.
So you miss him for 3. Say you're ahead. He could help you salt it away.
Right.
Say you're behind. He could help you get back in. So I think that's the type of hitter he can be.
But you're probably going to lose a pitcher or another position player that you could use in those first 3 games that could help you win those games.
That's where the versatility comes in with players like Ryan Flaherty, and Steve Pierce. You can move those guys around, and you got a variety of outfielders to play several positions. David Lowe can play all 3. So I think they could match up well using the 24 guys and waiting on Davis.
And it's also interesting, Kenny. Let's say, I mean, every team wants to sweep the series there.
Yeah.
If they sweep the first series, then you're not going to have a 24-man roster for 5 games in the ALCS. So sweeping would hurt them.
Yeah, it would.
And also, what type of player are you getting back? He would not have played in a month.
That was my next point.
And there's no minor league games for him to play. He can play simulated games in Florida.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's got a long swing to begin with.
Yes.
And it takes him a while to get honed in. We've seen that all season. When he gets hot, he can be really hot. When he's cold, he's really cold.
Now, previous cases like this, remember when the Giants had Melky Cabrera, and he tested positive for PD use. His suspension was over once the postseason happened, and they didn't want him on the roster. They said, go home, because he was going to be a free agent. They sent him home, and they ended up winning.
Yeah, but that's a little different. That was PEDs.
Yep.
Yeah. I also, I think that this situation with Davis came at a most inopportune time for the Orioles. Not only the fact that you're losing him, because he seemed to be starting to heat up. And they've been waiting for Chris to warm it up all season long. And he was about to.
Romine goes out and talks with Mitchell, 2 of them very familiar from the minor leagues. A lot of people are asking, well, why not Cervelli? Cervelli has been bothered by migraine headaches for the last month. Yankees running tests on him. It keeps coming up that they're migraines. He's trying to deal with it, but he's not ready to be used in the game. That's why in the first game was John Ryan Murphy, and in this game, it's Austin Romine. Runner goes. Ball fouled off.
Pierce got a great jump, trying to get himself into scoring position.
Good velocity, 94 miles an hour. Count 3-2 on Paredes.
I'm watching Mitchell, and in a way, he kind of reminds me of Shane Green. I mean, about the same build, maybe not quite as tall. Long and lean. Fastball, maybe not quite as powerful. A couple of miles per hour slower.
Warner goes. Foul ball.
And not quite the breaking ball that certainly not the sliders. That's to me, that's Shane Green's signature pitch, a slider. And I think Shane Green has pitched well enough that he's got a chance to make the rotation next spring.
Goes again. Fly ball, center field, drifting back Gardner. And he makes the play for the second out as Pierce heads back. There's Nelson Cruz, single to left in the first inning. Mitchell deals low.
With all these rookie pitchers making starts for the Yankees, there's valuable experience being gained.
Hammered down the left field line. It is a base hit. It'll go up against the wall. Chris Young plays it in. Stopping at third is Pierce. It's a double for Cruz. And the Orioles have runners on second and third and 2 outs.
And valuable experience of not where to throw the ball to Nelson Cruz. He's hit the ball hard twice. A single and now a booming double off the wall in left field. He hit it so hard that Pierce couldn't score from first base. Let's see where the pitch is. Oh, right there. You know, I think he's lucky this is just a double. Because Cruz is hunting home run number 40 on the season. Leads the major leagues with 39. Got the ball into Jeter. Second and third. Cruz in with the double.
Well, here's Delman Young in the first inning, first and second, 2 outs, struck out. Now second and third, 2 outs. 1-0.
I think young pitchers like Mitchell will learn every time you make a mistake. To big league hitters, they're usually going to put a good swing on it and usually hit the ball hard somewhere.
Ground ball is short. Jeter gets Delman Young, and that will do it. First 3 innings, the Orioles have left 5 runners on base. They're 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
His 28th double of the year. That is Steve Pearce. He's thinking about scoring. Bobby Dickerson, the third base coach, is going to hold him up and cruise. Hey, why'd you score? Come on, it's a, and if I'm Pearce, I'm saying you already got 100 RBIs. You're already gone all the way around the board for the season. Always felt going to like Monopoly, you go all around the board, you get 100 RBIs, collect 200, well, more than $200 in this day and age.
No, I think it's still $200 in Monopoly.
I mean in baseball.
Oh.
You're driving 100 runs, you're going to get more than $200.
Lincoln scoreboard 0-0 as we go to the fourth. Here's Brett Gardner. Well, the Twitterverse has certainly rung in on the texting gloves. I've been just ripped for saying it's heat. It's not the heat from your fingers, it's the electricity. So the electricity goes through the tip on the glove.
You mean the
electricity from your body goes to the heat on the glove.
You know what? I know you.
Not the heat, the tip on the glove.
You've got an electric personality, so you must be a texting whiz.
I don't even use my fingers. I just look at the board.
That's what I mean. An electric personality.
Yeah. I've short-circuited many times. The 1-1.
You know what?
High.
You're laughing, but that's next.
What, just thinking something, it'll be written?
It'll text out.
I don't know if it's in our lifetime, but I think you're right.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's coming next, too? Just get in the car, put in navigation where you want to go. You don't even have to touch the wheel. They're already developing cars like that.
I thought you were going to go with get in the car, hit the button, and then boom, you're there. It's like they just move your molecules from here to there.
That's Star Trek.
The next generation.
Yeah.
3-1, and Gardner walks. So he's been on base twice. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS for free help today. In 1999, Derek Jeter led Major League Baseball with 219 hits. What O's player finished second in hits that season? 1999.
Oh, I've got two guys in mind, but I think I know who it is.
McCann grounded to second, really short right field. As the throw to first almost got Gardner. They threw over there as Gardner was taking his lead. Now, Buck Showalter's going to come out and talk with the first base umpire, Tim Wilkie.
Here's a look, and I think he was late. Here's a better angle. Yeah, he's safe.
I'm very surprised Buck came out to check the replay there.
But
not for the play in left field.
Buck is not a big fan of the replay system.
No?
No. Remember the day he got thrown out of the game because he wanted the headsets to talk to New York?
Yes. 0-2 on McCann.
I think that was, they were playing the St. Louis Cardinals, I think. Maybe Cincinnati.
And they almost gave him the headset.
Yeah.
At least the person who holds the headset, and the umpire said, no, you can't talk to the umpires back in New York.
It was against St. Louis.
Strike three, McCann down looking.
4 strikeouts now for Bud Norris, and it looked like McCann was kind of lost in that whole at bat. Check swing, and then now caught looking. Two-seamer that kind of slings back over the inside corner for call strike 3, and he knew it.
Here's Chris Young. Those numbers there are his numbers with the Mets and with the Yankees. Came this close to being the hero in Game 1 with a home run in the 11th, but Adam Warren couldn't hold it. O scored 2 to win the game 2-1. Now, I had heard a rumor, Kenny, it was just a rumor, that if the Yankees had held the O scoreless, production was about to start on Yankeeography Chris Young, but they pulled the plug on that. He's almost slugged his way into a Yankeeography.
Well, the only thing you can do is keep trying.
He might have gotten a Yankee Classic from last night. One and two.
And that was a classic. You turned around Jake McGee at 98 miles an hour. That's a classic something. Now, with an abdominal strain, it kind of leads you to believe how much is Brett Gardner going to be stealing or attempting to. And he's probably been, he and Ellsbury, the two best offensive players the Yankees have had this year. So for the remaining games, you want them in there as much as possible. So you might not take a chance on him re-injuring that muscle. And he becomes more of a station-to-station player. And this might dictate what the Yankees are thinking here. 3-2 and 1 out. Although I don't think Chris Young has enough speed to stay out of double plays on his own. So then you would hold Gardner at first. And he does strike out, so you don't want to strike him out, throw him out either. Huh?
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. Not in time. It almost seemed like Young swung at the pitch as if he's trying to protect the runner.
That was ball 4.
Yeah.
But it also tells you Gardner's feeling pretty good. Because not only, well, it was a breaking ball that he thought was dropping in the zone. But it looked like it was ball 4. To throw is high, and Gardner's in. So I guess he's feeling well enough. There's that oven mitt.
Wow, that was close.
Milestone stolen base. Number 20 on the season.
Now that's a stat that really surprises me. With the year he's having, on base as much as he's been, that he has just 20 bases, to me is startling.
He's been caught 5 times. So you're thinking he should be going more.
Oh my God! How many does Ellsbury have?
Yep, 38.
And he batted third for a lot of the season. I mean, Brett Gardner has to attempt to steal more than 25 times.
Yeah, he's had way more than that in the regular season before. His high is 49 in 2011.
Now, if you think about it, he led off for most of the season. And Derek hits behind him, and Derek's the guy who hits ground balls and hits into double plays. You have to be running more than 25 times. The 1-1. 1-2 on Drew.
And I think that's eventually why you've seen the flip-flop with
Yep.
Ellsbury leading off, who's more aggressive on the bases.
He'll go first or second pitch.
Yeah, and plus he has a knack to get that rolling start, and he's tough to throw out. I'll tell you what, I'd given a lot of money to have the speed of either one of them.
1-2. Missed outside.
First Yankee in scoring position in this game.
Runner goes to third. That's grounded to first. Pierce is there. Steps on the bag, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Nothing on yes. New York State Smokers Quitline Quiz. In 1999, Derek Jeter led baseball with 219 hits. What O's player finished second in hits that season, Kenny?
Maybe Brian Roberts, maybe?
How about B.J. Sir? Oh, they won't even let me say it.
B.J. 207 hits. I guess it wasn't Brian Roberts.
David Lowe leads off the bottom of the fourth. Brian Mitchell, first major league start. 3 shutout innings. He deals a strike. Lincoln scoreboard, 0-0.
Now, Mitchell started the year in Trenton, then got bumped up to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and Michael, he pitched better at AAA than he did at AA. And there are those who will tell you that, we mentioned Shane Green before, that he's pitched better in the big leagues than he pitched at AAA.
And a walk to David Lowe. Second walk by Brian Mitchell.
Catcher number 36,
Here's Caleb Joseph.
Caleb Joseph is a career minor leaguer. In fact, had only spent a little time above Double-A prior to this year. But last year his bat started to catch up. At Double-A, hit 22 home runs and drove in 97 runs. And that's in 135 games. It's quite a bit of production as a catcher. And the Orioles, as I mentioned, like his defense. That's what they were looking for when Wieters went down. But Joseph hit 9 home runs here in the big leagues this year. And he had a stretch where he homered in 5 consecutive games.
Runner goes, and that one is grounded to Jeter. The out is made at first as Lowe advances to second.
Trying to make something happen. It was actually Drew who covered. But the pitch was off speed, and Joseph could not hit it the other way. He kind of falls out in front. And that makes him pull the ball. The right side was open, but he still pulled it to the left side, and Jeter throws him out.
There's Ryan Flaherty.
We were talking about Chris Davis being suspended. What Buck Showalter's saying, that some guys are going to get more playing time than they thought. And this might be one of those guys. Ryan Flaherty.
A lot of the writers were waiting outside the Orioles clubhouse this morning. And no one knew about the Davis suspension when people got to the ballpark.
Yeah, that didn't come until about maybe an hour before the game.
Yeah, maybe a little bit before that. And Buck was walking out of the clubhouse for a moment, and he looked at me and said, "Little tip. Save some room in your notebooks." And then he walked away. And then about 45 minutes later, he went into a press conference and announced that Chris Davis had been suspended. And Davis called him last night to tell him. And also called some teammates as well. Blocked by Austin Romine.
Like the captain is very engaging this year with the opposing players around second base. Younger players like Lowe certainly appreciate that.
Three and two. Line drive, base hit to left center field. Lowe will score. Flaherty's going for two. The throw is gets past Drew. So it's an RBI single for Flaherty. Lowe scores. It's 1-0 O's. RBI double for Flaherty.
Breaking ball that kind of hangs in the middle of the plate. Line drive over towards left center field. Lowe, because he was on the move with Joseph at the plate, was in scoring position. He scores easily. Flaherty hustling into second. And he keeps hitting like that. He's going to get more playing time. Final game of the series against the Red Sox in Fenway Park. He had a 4-hit game.
Here's Jonathan Scope. Foul back.
So the leadoff walk comes back to haunt Brian Mitchell. You know, I think Drew was trying for the quick tag as we look at this on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Ball was there in plenty of time. They would have had him.
Looks like he just whiffed on it.
Yeah, he's, you know, maybe moving the glove to make the tag and actually move the glove away from the ball.
Fly ball right field. Ichiro with a sliding catch and flips it in for the second out.
Each showing off his range. Even at 40 years old, better than most out in right field. Scope has been robbed by 2 diving catches. One by Chris Young and now one by Ichiro in right field.
Preston Claiborne up for the Yanks. Girardi said today, you can expect 80, 85 pitches out of Mitchell. So he's at 72 right now. The 1-0. 2-0. He did not use Sean Kelly in the first game. You would assume that Kelly would probably close the game if the Yankees had a lead. Robertson and Betances, I don't think they're available for a second game in one day. Driven into right center field. That is trouble. It splits the outfielders and it rolls to the warning track. Scoring easily is Flaherty. Going to third is De Aza. He'll make it with an RBI triple, and it's 2-0 Orioles.
De Aza has now played 8 games for the Baltimore Orioles since coming over from the White Sox. And he's had at least 1 hit in every game. And this one's going to split the gap and hit towards deep right center field. This is going to be his 6th triple of the season. Alejandro De Aza. And right now it looks like a pretty good late season pickup.
So Larry Rothschild talks things over with Brian Mitchell, settles him down. And that'll bring up Steve Pearce. And let's take a look at the Jeep Hitter scouting report for Steve.
Yeah, Steve Pearce has been on base twice tonight. He's been hit by a pitch and singled. We talked about his versatility. He's played some third base, first base. First base is his best position, some outfield. And this guy has spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. He's had career highs in at-bats, home runs, RBIs. And the 1 week this year, he was American League Player of the Week. In fact, he was co-Player of the Week with his teammate Adam Jones. And that was back in June when Pearce was really, really hot. And Buck Showalter had him batting second, while Manny Machado was getting his act together down further in the lineup. Manny started to hit. Buck moved Manny where he had been all last year.
Ground ball to third. Zealous Wheeler gets Pearce, and that'll do it. But the O's get 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 man left. 4 in the books. 2-0 O's. And the Indians are hovering there, certainly in the wild card as well, not going away. So we go to the 5th inning, and the Yankees are down 2-0 to Bud Norris and the O's. Orioles won the first game 2-1 in 11 innings. So offense has certainly been at a premium in these 2 games. Yankees have 1 run in 15 innings, and that was an 11th inning solo home run by Chris Young. Here's Ichiro to be the bottom of the Yankee order against Bud Norris. Count 2-0.
Well, we talked about it in the first game where Oriole pitching has been much better than people thought it was going to be. The team ERA has been excellent from the starters. The bullpen's been sharp. Their defense is not as good as it was last year. I mean, after all, Manny Machado's out. J.J. Hardy's had some injury issues. And they can hit home runs. And that's basically what's gotten Baltimore to this point.
Ichiro works a walk. Let's go back to the studio. And Bob Lorenz has another update. And the Cards, Bob, 3-0, bottom of the 1st inning over Colorado, and that is in St. Louis. Zealous Wheeler takes strike. Joining us here in the booth is our colleague Meredith Moragovich, who has some information that I think you might find interesting, starting with David Phelps.
Well, Michael, you were talking about who's available in the pen, who's not available. One guy that they got back today was David Phelps. He was reinstated from the 15-day DL. He was placed on the DL back on August 4th with right elbow inflammation. He just threw a bullpen on Wednesday, felt fine after that. The plan was always to activate him prior to the first game today. So he's another option, and Joe Girardi said he can give him about an inning, maybe an inning plus, but they would check in with him, and you likely won't see him use him back-to-back, especially early on.
And how about Tanaka? What's the latest on him?
Masahiro Tanaka threw a bullpen in Tampa today. The plan for him is to throw in a simulated game on Monday. Now, there was some question, is it an instructional league game or a simulated game? It'll be a simulated game with instructional league players at 1 o'clock in Tampa because that league has not yet started.
I wonder how the Yankee personnel will get there, if any Yankee personnel will be there, because it's a Sunday night game, and Yankees probably not getting into their hotel until 4:30 in the morning. The hotel's a couple of blocks away from the complex.
There's not going to be a lot of sleep for those that are going to watch, but I have to imagine Larry Rothschild is going to be there. Joe Girardi is going to be there. That's why they're doing it a little bit later in the afternoon. Typically those games, if there isn't a game going on at the same field, happen early in the morning, but you would think that's part of the reason why he's doing it in Tampa, because the Yankees are there, and so Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild can watch him.
You saying he's going to pitch against instructional league players?
Yes, that's correct.
That's
where it goes. Go to second. Ichiro's out. Joe Girardi is out of the dugout.
Now the only reason he comes out is because Ichiro looks out at him. This is close, and to get this overturned, it's so close it might not be overturned. That's my point.
Can't tell from that one.
No, you can't. Wow, still close.
Yeah.
This might be hard to tell as well. I don't think there's going to be a challenge. Joe's not going to challenge. Jeez.
Wow, very close.
My point with the instructional league players, imagine how they feel facing Masahiro Tanaka.
Well, I spoke to a couple of the players that were here from the Yankees that were in last sim game that Masahiro Tanaka threw, and they said his splitter as good as it was earlier in the season. Chris Young had actually faced him as a member of the Mets, and he said he saw no difference in his off-speed pitch, his slider a little better than he thought it would be at this point in time. Now, he asked Masahiro Tanaka, and he says he's not quite there yet, not throwing at 100%. The only time he'll be throwing at 100% is when he is in a big league game and you get that extra adrenaline. But overall, the biggest thing, obviously, that he's healthy. He's not feeling anything in that arm.
What else you got, Meredith? You've been collecting information all day.
There's a lot of stuff. We have guys that aren't available in the bullpen, as you mentioned, David Robertson, Joe Girardi really going after that game and using him for 2 innings. He was asked if it were earlier in the season, would he take that same approach, and he said absolutely not. He just felt in that particular situation that was his best bet.
So a shorter bullpen for sure in this game. We thank Meredith. We'll hear from her on the post-game show. We're halfway through. Orioles 2 and the Yankees nothing on Yes. Is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcast, the MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. Johnny Paredes with a push bunt. And it's a base hit. Mitchell made that a lot closer than I thought, but Paredes with a single.
Here's what Michael's talking about. Falling away with the throw, and Paredes just across the bag.
Paredes, originally a Yankee. Signed him as an amateur free agent in 2007. He was with them in their system through 2010, and then in July of that year, they traded Paredes and Mark Melancon to the Astros for Lance Berkman.
The big Puma. Here's the guy that so far in this game has given Mitchell the most problems. Cruz is 2 for 2. He's hit the ball on the nose twice.
Grounded to third. There's one. On to first. Out of time.
And Michael, did it appear to you that Stephen Drew had a little problem getting the ball out of the glove?
It didn't seem very smooth.
No, you usually see those second basemen, the ball barely touches his glove and it's on its way to first. It's like deflected off the body and on its way to first base. But you can see he had fumbled a bit, and that was the difference in turning the double play. He reaches, has to reach again, and then delivers the throw. But it was too late. Still getting used to playing at second base position.
You know, Meredith was giving us updates on the walking wounded for the Yankees, and it was so great to see Chase Headley before standing in the dugout. Josh Outman up for the Yankees, and I was talking with Chase's agent Jim Murray, who was in the hospital yesterday, and everybody in the hospital, the doctors, all the attendants, could not believe that Headley did not have a fracture after being hit on the chin like that. They were just stunned. And now to see him here today means that he pretty much aced all the neurological tests as well. That is one lucky man.
As we mentioned, Jake McGee is a very hard thrower. And you're right, to come out of that with just sort of a gash and some stitches.
And when you consider right before that, in another city, what happened to Giancarlo Stanton,
who's done for the season.
Runner goes, throw to second, got it. So a strike him out, throw him out, double play as Drew applies the tag. Good throw by Austin Romine. We go to the 6th. It's 2-0 O's. Part by The Equalizer, in theaters September 26th. By the 2014 Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. And by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Picture of Gehrig out on Utah Street.
Yeah, did I see that The Equalizer starring Denzel Washington?
Yes.
Oh. And Vernon, New York.
And Fordham.
That's right. There's a connection to both of us there.
Yes. Me and Denzel hang out a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. Your statue's right next to his, right?
Very close. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury.
I mentioned Bud Norris beat the Yankees twice, but in each time he only went 5 innings. One was on June 21st at Yankee Stadium. The other was August 11th here in Baltimore. So he's gone a little further this time into the 6th inning against the Yankees tonight. And one thing he has done for these Orioles, he's pitched very well against Eastern Division teams. He's won his last 6 decisions against Eastern Division clubs. And that's what you're looking for. Remember, Andy Pettitte was dealing what good a record he had against the East.
Yep.
Especially the Orioles. I think he was 27-6 in his career against Baltimore. CC Sabathia was very good against Baltimore.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Ellsbury down on strikes.
7 strikeouts now for Bud Norris against 2 walks. The high heat out of the zone. Picks up the strikeout.
Boy, a late arriving crowd, but a very big crowd here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and Jeter gets a warm hand from that crowd. I'm not sure this would be a sellout, but there are a lot of people in this yard. Filled up quick, right? First game was 32,000. Is much more. And there's a strike to Jeter.
Yeah, once you see people standing above the scoreboard, that's out in right field and out in the party deck and straightaway center. Still roaming Utah Street back there. The party deck, that's only been in vogue the last couple of years. Very popular spot.
And one of the top terraces in the hotel, jammed. People getting a free look at the ballpark. There's the party deck. And that is a crowded terrace. The 0-2. Grounded to third. Paredes makes the play. And right now, Jeter's in the toughest stretch of the season. He has 5 for his last 35.
It's got to be frustrating, certainly for a guy who's put together so many 200 hit seasons. Just a couple of years ago, led the league in hits.
There's Gardner and a strike.
That was one of those pitcher's tricks out there. He shook off several signs and came back to the first one. And got Gardner to think it was going to be something other than a fastball, and it was a fastball.
And Gardner swings and misses. As the Yankees go down in order, we go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 O's. Innings of Brian Mitchell makes the Verizon call to the bullpen.
And he comes out with a left-hander, Josh Outman. He of the high stirrups. He's going back, what, 30 years?
Pretty much.
Yeah. 36th game of the year, 4-0 record, 3.16. Just about a strikeout per inning, maybe a few too many walks. The opponent's only hitting .235 as Outman will get Lowe, Joseph, and Flaherty. Maybe he's trying to get that style to come back.
Mitchell did not pitch poorly. 5 innings, 6 hits in his first big league start. 84 pitches. And there's a strike.
Just watching Outman and the way he wears his socks, and it makes me think of what goes around comes around. You know, it's coming back. I thought those days were long, long gone. Those days are even further gone.
Not really throwing back.
You know, I think those are the socks that the St. Louis Browns wore the year before they became the Baltimore Orioles, and it's sort of like a tribute to the St. Louis Browns as to what they wore. They moved out of St. Louis, came to Baltimore in 1954. And became the Orioles. The Browns were having trouble drawing fans in St. Louis. Of course, they were up against the St. Louis Cardinals, one of the best franchises of all time. David Lowe wears the socks like that, and so does Adam Jones.
Lined into left field. Jones Young dives and makes the play. And he's playing some pretty good defense out there.
Yes, he is. Second time tonight we've seen him lay out backhanded line drive. This one was more evident than the first time. Sliding catch on his back, and Lowe is retired out number 1. He's doing it all. Somebody is throwing in the Yankee bullpen. I'm not quite sure. We saw Preston Claiborne up earlier. It might be him. Indeed, it is Preston Claiborne.
1-1. Got to send out birthday wishes, Kenny. Jack Voynick, big viewer of Yes. 101 today.
Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday.
If Joseph swings and misses.
Shortstop, number 3,
101. Seen a lot of Yankee baseball over the years.
Oh, yeah. .101 means that you saw Babe and Lou.
Yeah, you did. All the glory years. In other words, he's seen every Yankee World Championship.
That's right.
Yeah. I think he'd be an interesting guy to talk to see which was his favorite Yankee teams.
The 0-1. 1-1.
Out, up and in. Do you have any favorite Yankee teams over the years, Michael?
I think the best team that I've ever seen was the '98 team.
Yeah, that was a great team, great season.
Seemed like they never lost.
Yeah.
I really, you'll laugh at me. I really enjoyed the '73 Yankees as a 12-year-old. Really getting into it.
Bobby Mercer,
Thurman Munson, and they were starting to turn the corner and be a little bit better.
Now I'm older than you, of course. I remember the '61 Yankee team, and I thought that was an awesome ball play.
Ground ball to second. Drew and Outman gets 3 outs, man. As the O's go down in order. We go to the 7th. It's 2-0 Baltimore. Top of the 7th inning, the Yankees have scored 1 run in 17 innings of play today. And that 1 run on Chris Young's home run in the 11th inning of the first game. That's it. But this is not breaking news, Kenny. This is a problem that they've had the entire season. They have not been able to do anything offensively. And there are some excuses now. This is a lineup that doesn't have Beltran. Jeter's been slumping terribly. You didn't have Gardner in the first game. No Headley.
No Teixeira.
No Teixeira. And Brian McCann will lead it off. Fly ball, shallow left. De Aza is there. And that'll bring up Chris Young, who made a beautiful catch last inning. This replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here.
Yeah, amazing things happening in left field for Chris Young tonight. He's made 2 catches like that.
Young 0 for 2 against Norris. Fly ball right and a strikeout. They have 3 infielders on the left side for Chris Young. David Phelps. Got a fastball by him.
There's straight heat here and towards the middle of the plate. Just a hint of movement.
Joseph can't get there.
Now you see the area next to the dugouts where there's the circles there where they keep the the donuts and the weights and the pine tar. A few days ago there was a ball game where it was raining here and they had actually those rubber tarps out.
Yep.
And I believe it was Huntley, maybe it was Joseph, who came over and slid. It slipped and almost got injured sliding into the camera well there. Well, right after that play, Buck Showalter had them both removed from both sides of the field.
There's a base hit into the gap. Young makes a turn, heads back to first. I've always wondered, those are rubberized, they're slippery.
They were that night, and I think it had rained a little bit. It was Joseph who slipped, and Buck Showalter immediately before play even started again had both of them removed from the opposing side and the side near the Oriole dugout. And now you can see there's nothing but warning track there in a circle that's chalked in. It did look nice because it had the Oriole bird logo on it.
Right.
But that's not going to be used again.
Young single, the first Yankee hit since Ellsbury's single in the 3rd.
And Michael, you remember when we first came here, the warning tracks and the portion all around the grass, all the way around the field was rubberized.
Yep.
And the same thing was happening there. I thought it was dangerous then, and now they changed it. They've gone to the dirt.
Count 2-1 on Stephen Drew. Top of the 7th inning. It's 2-0 O's.
The Yankees have had, 5 base runners in this game, 3 singles and 2 walks. Only 1 runner has gotten to second base, and that was Brett Gardner in the 4th inning with a steal, a walk and a steal. Bud Norris has tied his season high in strikeouts with 8. He did that on the road against the Angels earlier this year.
Fouled away. Two 2-0 Orioles over the Yankees. This chiropractic telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Let's see if the runner goes. Another foul ball.
Joseph out to talk to Norris. Back-to-back pretty good swings by Stephen Drew here. Norris getting up near the 100 pitch mark. And nobody warming up in the Oriole bullpen. Starting to move around a bit.
Swing and a miss. 93-mile-an-hour fastball right by Drew.
New season high in strikeouts for Bud Norris. Number 9 on the season.
2 for his last 35. Stephen Drew.
Norris had struck out 8 Angels on July 21st out at Angel Stadium. His career high is 14. That was when he's with the Astros, and that was against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ichiro fouls it away.
Norris up over 100 now. His season high is 113. That was back in May against the Tigers. In a game that he actually lost.
2-1 on Ichiro. Ichiro struck out, walked, caught stealing. Yankees with just 3 hits.
It's almost as if something was taken out of them after the first game.
I was just going to say that, like the wind got knocked out of their sails. But again, we repeat, it's been a season-long problem. What a distressing loss. Ichiro swings and misses, and that'll do it in the 7th. No runs are hit, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6 1/2, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. 2-0 O's. This is a ballpark that yields runs. The first game, 7 innings, 0-0. First time that's happened, Yankees Orioles in 40 years. Time for the game summary for the second game, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 2-0 O's, 2-6-0, leading 0-3-0. Mitchell in his starting debut in the majors, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Norris has gone 7, a season-high 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Flaherty and De Aza, each with an RBI. That was in the 4th inning, and that's the scoring. The Orioles haven't been lighting it up offensively either, and now we're going to get a chance to see David Phelps, who's been on the shelf.
Good to see him back on the mound. Pitching for the Yankees. Elbow inflammation. He's missed 34 games. He last pitched for the Yankees on, let's see, that's August the 3rd at Boston. Starting and allowed 5 runs in 2 innings. And he did not get a decision in that game.
And Joe Girardi said you'll probably see him for an inning.
Well, it's good to get. I bet you he feels great to be back out there.
Yep.
You know, when you're on a disabled list, you feel like you're not part of the team.
Jonathan Scope will start off the 7th. Scope, De Aza, and Pierce, 9-1 and 2 against Phelps. Cadillac scoreboard, 2-0 O's. Crowd of 43,707 here on a Friday night. And a strike.
Remember all the way back to spring training when Phelps was in the battle for the 5th starting spot that was eventually won by Michael Pineda. And because of injuries to members of the Yankee rotation, Phelps was pressed into duty as a starter. But during the course of spring training, I had a discussion with Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach, and he said that just about every time Phelps has been used as a starter, after a while he develops arm problems.
Ground ball, Zealous Wheeler getting scope.
And it might be actually best for him to work out of the bullpen where the Yankees could manage his innings. But because of injuries, he was put into the rotation. And he made more consecutive starts than he'd ever made in a Yankee uniform, and eventually developed elbow inflammation. Had to go on the DL. So the feeling is that maybe his best role really is for him out of the bullpen as far as physical health is concerned.
Well, next year he could be almost what Adam Warren has been for them this year, because Adam Warren was a starter who threw a lot harder as a reliever. Now blew the game in the opener of this doubleheader, but has pitched fairly well all year. And the 2-0.
I can only imagine. I've had arm injuries, but I played the outfield. I had elbow surgery, but I can only imagine what it is for a pitcher, knowing that this is your livelihood. This is what you've been doing ever since you were a kid, and all of a sudden you can't do it because of an injury. And it has to be a mental thing more than a physical thing for a pitcher. Look out, Wayne Kirby. Line drive over his head. That's why coaches now wear helmets. This ball is smoked off the bat of Diaz.
Right away you hear it from the dugout. And down goes Diaz. 2 away. As promised earlier, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to @YesNetwork using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Indigo Feather. 2 happy Yankee fans. And that'll bring up Steve Pearce.
Be interested to get Phelps' take about being back in there. In well over a month. And the thing about it, he was pitching pretty well until that one night in Boston. You could see he didn't quite have it.
Fouled away. Any pitcher that's on the DL definitely wants to get into a game. That's what we're seeing with Tanaka before the end of the season, rather than going into the offseason with that big question mark hanging over your head. Now Tanaka's injury more serious than that of Phelps. Phelps was inflammation. Tanaka has a partial tear. But Phelps gets in there, finishes off the season healthy. He could feel good about going into spring training. And the 2-2. 3-2 to Pearce. Pearce hit by a pitch in the first, single to left in the third, grounded to third in the fourth. And he walks. That brings up Paredes as Romine goes out and toss with Phelps. Grounded foul.
One thing about Paredes is it appears that his at-bats are over quickly.
Well, the game winner in game one, first pitch.
First pitch. He laid down a bunt. First pitch. Hacks at the first pitch here.
1-1.
Was basically signed by the Orioles. Well, they got him for cash considerations, right? So they got him for cash considerations, and he's supposed to provide infield depth.
Phelps from the stretch. Pierce leads off first, throw over. Two and one.
First two outs came quickly. A little bit harder getting this third guy.
Count 3-2. So that's going to send Pierce at first. 3-2 and 2 outs.
McCann's going to drop behind Pierce at first base.
Out of the way. Missed inside. So two straight 2-out walks, and Phelps has the runners on first and second. And that brings up Nelson Cruz. Rich Hill getting ready.
You know, as I look at over both rosters, Buck Showalter in his doubleheader has played every one of his players has gotten into one of the game or the other. And all the available players for Joe Girardi got to do either one game or the other. Exception for the Yankees would be Beltran, who's got the injured elbow. Headley, who got hit by a pitch yesterday. So everybody got a chance to play. I mean, you don't want to come out here and watch 18 innings of baseball. You want to play if you're able to. If you're Phelps, this is not what you had in mind. Facing Cruz with 2 on.
Count 2-1. And 3-1.
As we said, he got the first 2 outs pretty quickly, but now the pitch count is up to 28 pitches here in the 7th.
And 3 straight walks by Phelps to load the bases. Here comes Larry Rothschild. Stick around after the last out for the WB Mason postgame and get complete analysis of today's doubleheader. Plus, you'll hear all the reaction from the players in the clubhouse and get a look at the updated playoff picture. It's all coming up only on Yes.
Well, maybe the rust beginning the show for David Phelps here after getting the first 2 outs. And he said he hadn't pitched since August the 3rd. But now he's pitched himself into a corner with Delman Young at the plate.
Hit sharply and off the glove of Drew and into right field. 2-run score. Nelson Cruz moves to third. Delman Young drives in 2. Let's see how they scored, but it's 4-0 O's.
Young hits the ball hard. And we looked at Stephen Drew, couldn't come up with that first high, hard hop. 2 more runs are going to score. I haven't seen the scoring on this of yet. I believe it's going to be base hit.
Is it, Kenny?
I believe so.
All right, Joe Girardi will go to the bullpen, and we'll be back.
champion. We know that. Good guy. Handles the media unbelievably well. I don't know if he's given enough credit for that, playing in a market that he's under scrutiny all the time. It amazes me how well he handles that. So, yeah, he's going to be remembered as one of the greatest shortstops to play, and probably the most clutch player in the playoffs.
Cal Ripken Jr. was at Derek Jeter Day, and Derek Jeter now on Cal's turf. So some words from Cal about the Yankee captain who is winding down his major league career. Cal's number 8 retired. I'm sure in the future Derek's number 2 will be retired.
Yeah, Cal Ripken growing up not too far from him, Aberdeen, Maryland, about 30 miles north up Interstate 95. And Cal, actually, there's a stadium there where the Orioles have a minor league affiliate, Ripken Stadium.
So it's going to be Rich Hill on in relief of David Phelps. It'll be Hill against Lowe. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. It's 4-0 Orioles. Still in the bottom of the 7th inning. Big breaking ball for a strike.
Well, you asked David Lowe where that one came from. He's going to say from behind him and then broke over the plate. Rich Hill already with that side wheeling delivery. And that first pitch would tell David Lowe, right, this might be a tougher at bat than I anticipated.
The 0-1. Chaz Rose up for the Yanks. With the win in the first game, the Orioles' magic number for clinching the East is 7 now. And that one is looped out to Zealous Wheeler, and Hill comes on and does the job. But 2 runs on 1 hit, 3 walks by David Phelps. We go to the 8th, it's 4-0 O's. Aaron Williams, Brooke Lopez, and Joe Johnson. Brooklyn's core is back and ready to contend in the Eastern Conference, and yes is your home for all the action. This NBA season, when you think Nets, you gotta think yes. Now we go to the 8th inning at 4-0 Baltimore. Quinton Berry takes over in right field for Nelson Cruz. And taking over third base, Kelly Johnson replacing Paredes. Also a new pitcher for the O's. Bud Norris goes 7, and now they turn it over to hard-throwing right-hander Tommy Hunter.
And the Yankees are going to go to the bench. A pinch hitter for Zealous Wheeler. It's going to be Antoine Richardson. So he's going to face Tommy Hunter, who started the year as a closer. And that role eventually went to Zach Britton. But Hunter has been very effective lately. 4-0 Baltimore on the Hyundai scoreboard.
And a strike. As you can see, Hunter throws hard, 97 miles an hour. Martin Prado has come out on deck to pinch hit for Austin Romine. Yankees down 4-0. One and one. The 2 runs in the 7th, tough, especially because the Yankees have been so struggling to score runs.
Well, it looked 2 outs and nobody on, and then eventually the Orioles come up with a couple more runs. They tack on 2.
1-1. 2-1. Drag bunt. It is a beauty. And Tommy Hunter foolishly tries to flip it to first, as Richardson will take second. So a bunt single and an E1.
I don't think he could have rolled it out there any better. He gets the ball by Hunter, and it's all over right here. And you're right, Michael. I don't know what Hunter's thinking. I mean, this is something that you might see on Sunday in a softball league. The flip of the glove, the ball. Hunter's going after the ball. He has to get his glove. One of his shoes come off? I don't think so. It's a base hit and an error.
Here's Martin Prado pinch hitting for Romine. One and 0. Fly ball, right center. Lone makes the catch. Richardson tags and moves to third.
Now, last year, one of the problems that plagued Tommy Hunter, he gave up a number of home runs, but this year only 4 home runs in 55 1/3 innings. In fact, they started to give him a nickname here in Baltimore, Home Run Hunter.
And when you're not hitting, that's not a good nickname.
Yeah, it is.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Infield is back, so they'll allow a run to score on a ground ball. Off speed upstairs. Brian Mattis is up. Chaz Rowe still waiting. Strike to Ellsbury. Looped into shallow right. And it's caught by Scope as Richardson has to go back to third. Now Derek Jeter will get a nice hand. This is the one city so far this year that the boos have certainly held their own. Usually it's been a complete love fest for Derek wherever the Yankees have gone. The final 3 games of his regular season career will be in Fenway. But in Baltimore, they are booing him. And the Yankee fans fighting that with cheers.
Well, I'm thinking the 14 years of frustration, and during those 14 years, the Yankees were really rolling. Up until the last couple of years, the Orioles had not had winning seasons, and a lot of those losses were handed out by the Yankees. And Derek was the leader of the band with all those more hits against the Orioles than any other team.
And a nice pick there by Pierce, taking a hit away from Jeter, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. Derek's 0 for 4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Your Tri-State BMW Center by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. Hyundai scoreboard 4-0 O's as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Chaz Rowe comes on. Couple of changes for the Yankees. Martin Prado takes over at third. And behind the plate, John Ryan Murphy. This is what the Yankees are looking at. As you see Rowe's numbers, this is his 3rd game. If they score 1 run or fewer in the 9th. And this according to Katie Sharp on Twitter, this would be the first time the Yankees were swept in a doubleheader and scored 1 run or fewer in each game on the road. You have to go back to July 31st of 1966 against the White Sox.
as many moons ago.
Fly ball, center field. Gardner drifts back to make the play for the first out.
Shortstop, number 3, Ryan Levy.
Grounded to first, over to Rowe. Flaherty retired.
You know, Michael, I see what you're saying, but you get the feeling when you walk in here, and when we do games here, you get the feeling this is an offensive ballpark.
Yep.
You get the feeling that a couple of good swings, and if you got some men on base, you're going to have yourself 3 or 4 runs. And well, the Yankees had one good swing all day. That was a home run by Chris Young that put them ahead in the 11th inning.
Here's Jonathan Scope. And a strike.
I mean, 4 hits in this game, 3 singles and 1 bunt single.
Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. The ball gets by John Ryan Murphy, and Scope will reach.
That will go as a strikeout in a wild pitch. Man, surprised Scope even offered at that moment. We've seen him take some wild hacks today. And he'll be safe at first with 2 down.
High fly ball, deep to right. Ichiro back on the track, looking up. It's off the wall. Scope scores. De Aza will go to third. It's his second RBI triple, and it's 5-0 O's.
Alejandro De Aza making Camden Yards his new home. Just misses a home run to right. Ball gets by Ichiro, and De Aza is going to head for third base. Now it's 7 triples on the year, second of the game.
The pitch to Pierce is a strike.
So the wild pitch on the strikeout with 2 outs. Last couple of innings, Baltimore has scored 3 times with 2 outs.
Could not hold up. And the count 0-2. Kind of mocking a swing in the dugout. Strike 3. Pierce down looking. But the Orioles get another run on 1 hit. 1 man left. We go to the 9th inning. Yankees down 5-0. Yankees trailing 5-0 to the Orioles. Orioles looking to take this doubleheader. They won the first game 2-1, winning this one 5-0. And now Brian Mattis is on the mound. Third pitcher used by the O's. Bud Norris, the starter, went 7. Tommy Hunter pitched the 8th. And now Mattis comes on for the 9th, his 59th game. Kenny mentioned, former starter. Has been successful out of the bullpen. Never really made it to the level they thought he would as a starter, but certainly successful enough working in relief.
Pretty good strikeout to walk ratio.
It'll be Gardner, McCann, and Young. Gardner 1 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. And a strike.
Yeah, man, it's another one of those former #1 draft picks out of San Diego University.
Missed with a breaking ball. Want to remind everybody that tomorrow's game's on Fox and Sunday night's game is on ESPN, but we'll have Yankees extra innings following each game on Yes. 1 and 2. So you get all the information from the clubhouse following the game. And then we're back on Yes with the game Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tampa Bay. In fact, Tuesday's game is on My 9, so Monday and Wednesday on Yes. The 1-2. Foul back to the screen. And Mattis deals a 1-2. 2-2 on Gardner. Strike 3. Gardner down looking, does not like the call. 1 away.
11 Yankees have struck out tonight. Breaking ball, borderline, but Mattis gets the call. Joseph holding the glove for a long time.
Kenny, you know how great pitchers like Greg Maddux always get the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the way the Yankees are hitting or not hitting, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt if a ball is close. They're just not. I mean, that's not the way umpiring should go, but they're human back there, and the Yankees just have done nothing offensively. And, you know, you really can't complain about a call when you're not putting balls in play.
Well, let's put it this way. Every Yankee starter has struck out at least once tonight in this second game.
High fly ball. Shallow right. Scope makes the play. It is amazing the roller coaster of emotions that a sports team could put you through. The Yankee win yesterday was so exhilarating. And you figure, well, once again, like after the Red Sox won with the 2 home runs, it's going to carry over. And they almost being the operative word, have a great win in the first game, but then it's snatched away from them when their bullpen, Adam Warren, couldn't close it out. Now they're on the verge, 1 out away from getting swept. So that win yesterday doesn't seem like it means much.
Not when you back it up with a couple of losses.
There's Chris Young. Tries to bunt. Fouls it back.
Well, only one player on the right side. Tried to push it by Mattis.
The 0-1. Down to their final strike. Nothing Baltimore. And the 0-2. He could not hold up, swings and misses, and the Yankees get swept in the doubleheader. 2-1 in the afternoon, 5-0 here tonight. Orioles' magic number is now down to 6, and the Yankees are trying to keep a pulse in this wild card race. Let's go back to the studio. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry.